now. Welcome to Weekly Sync number, I don't even remember anymore, but there's been a lot of them, and you all are amazing. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for working hard. How did this week go? I, full disclosure, feel like I started this other cohort, mentoring this other one, and I feel like I don't even know what's going on over here. Fill me in. What's the deets? What's happening?
I don't know. It was on our end. It was really smooth.
Good.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah. I don't
Love
know.
to hear it.
I guess Megan can. Yeah, we were all kind of in our bubbles, I feel.
I felt like it was kind of complex. We had a little rough go of it, but we got it figured out.
Oh, good. So, because there was last week when we left, there was one issue that still needed to be wrapped up, and then two more in the pipeline, right?
Mm-hmm.
Done. All of them got done?
Yes.
Wow, you superstars. That's incredible. Good job. I was nervous about that one. I was thinking ooh, this will be a good lesson in shutting down stories and seeing what we can take off and not deprioritize. But we didn't have to do that at all because you all hustled and did it. Great work. Okay. Very, very good. I will turn it over to Michael for demos, I guess, then.
Yeah. So I was just going through and making sure I had my head on straight with the pairs. It looks like Devon and Tansy, your group, right?
Yes.
Do you two want to go first?
Or you called us out, so I guess we are going first.
Well, I like to ask just in case.
Okay, thank you.
And you always have the option to defer.
Thank you. Yeah, let me, what we'll do, I'm going to go over the PR, and then Tansy can present the code. At least that's the way we had it. I don't know. I get the thumbs up. I see the thumbs up, so cool. All right, let me share my screen. Make sure I'm where I need to be, actually. Let me get there. Got a bunch of links open. What happened? Okay, so this is the slide isn't working part of the presentation.
Okay, I can just share my screen and you can talk.
No.
Or...
I got it.
Okay.
I got it. Yeah, I just need to get there. All right, cool.
Pressure.
No pressure. We're all friends.
No pressure anymore. Maybe the first week, but now, yeah.
We know each other. Like I said, it's the slide part that didn't, you're clicking and you're like, why I don't have an IT guy, so I can't be Ron, why isn't this working? But okay, so this is what we had to do. We had a task where we created a feature where the user was able to delete, and we talked to Alejandro, and I think I'll be honest, I think I kind of forgot a bit, but yes, this is a CRUD app, create, and we had to do the delete part of this, and I did one in, actually did a bunch of bootcamp, my bootcamp course. So let's see, delete items from the shopping list once they're added. Once the user decides they no longer want to keep the item in the shopping list, they will click, because we created a little X button, and then the item will be deleted. Before the item is permanently deleted from the shopping list, a window will pop up asking the user if they are sure they want to delete the item. So we love I love pop-up windows. So I know I'm a bit old, pop-up video. Once the user confirms his deletion by clicking OK or canceling, the item will be permanently deleted. I do want to point out that Tansy was wonderful, and she took some great notes on this, which we have. You can click on the link, but we have it in Notion. So actually, oh shoot, I didn't mean to click on it, but yeah, here we go.
I'm glad you did, because I want to see this.
Okay, cool. Okay, yeah. So guys, let me move this out the way. You guys like the screen. So
is Notion a note-taking app?
Oh, you're not. Yeah.
Dude, Michael.
Oh my gosh, Michael.
Hey, we don't shame each other for not knowing things here.
I'm just surprised that you didn't know, but no shaming. Yeah. It's where all the cool kids are going these days to.
It's like true. TikTok, right? Where all the Gen Z kids are going.
Yeah, so we'll put it in that category. Yeah, so I mean, most people kind of I think most people use it as a I guess word processing. I know that sounds old, but that's my like default. I don't know like where you could go with it, but yeah, note taking, anything you want to, people write job descriptions on there. So yeah. And here's what Tansy wrote. So she literally wrote through the process of what we did, and I was like, this is amazing when we did it, and I was like, I need to personally like just collectively just start doing it, like even on my other projects like that I'm working on. So yeah, we have everything here.
You know what this is? This is a blog post for Dev2.
It is, and she can just take it and put it on
Get it
Dev2.
on there, Tansy. This is perfect. I love it.
Yeah, so you guys can see that. So yep, it's literally everything. So I thought it was quite amazing. So I figured we could do it. So this is we didn't have the before, but this is the after. So you can see it, la. And Tansy, I guess we can slide over to you. Take it away.
Okay. Thank you for the introduction.
Sure. Oh, let me stop sharing so we can get there. Yeah.
So this is like, okay, let me move our pictures. So this is like the app. Essentially, as it says, you delete the item. I wish like it was a prettier button, but the fact that it closes is like a blessing. So I have like very little to ask from like. So essentially, like mark that. Well, you don't have to mark this all. You can just delete it and like confirm or whatever. And ideally, like it should show up in your database. Like you have no more salt. Like that salt just magically disappeared. And so yeah, that's essentially it.
Yeah, so it's pretty simple. I don't know. I didn't think it would be this like it was done pretty quickly. Like I didn't think that would happen, but and I didn't choose that for that reason, but it just happened that way. So yeah.
Yeah, like I think we finished on Tuesday. We're just like, okay, because like it was like essentially kind of like I'm glad we kind of worked on the add item before, because that kind of helped to think about what would a delete item be like, and just thinking how could I make this like how could like we could also just try to make this really clean and readable, especially as like early developers. Sometimes there's like, how can this make sense to me if I were to teach it? And also because my Git commits suck, that was the reason why like I ended up writing on Notion.
No, I think it was
great.
I think Notion is great. Yeah.
Great work.
I'm curious how. So I'm asking out of I don't know the exact answer. But when you delete the item, it re-renders your whole list, even though you're not specifically doing anything to tell it to re-render, to make sure it drops that item out of the list. So did y'all like mess around with that and figure out what's going on there? Like, because you're not using React State, I guess, to store the list itself, right? You're just pulling it straight out of the database, or are you using React State?
So in terms of like, are you asking me like how am I deleting it? I'm just like interacting with the database. It was like copy pasting where it says, how do you delete the data? That's it.
So once the item is deleted from there's like a collection of list items, and then you delete one of them, but then eventually React sees that one got deleted and then it re-renders. Does it do like another database query again, or do you actually like remove it like from the list?
I remove it. I believe.
Yeah, it's removed from the list, from the database actually.
Yeah, I just from our project, anytime we mess with the data in the database itself, you'll actually see it upload, refresh the entire list. So I think there's some type of sugar going on with like Firestore collection or something where it's actually just watching for changes. And if you just because you can actually do it on the Firebase.
Okay, you jogged my memory now. I remember now that we use the Firestore collection, which does listen for changes on Firestore or Firebase. And then I think from there, like everything underneath that component does the magic. Cool.
All right.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Nabil.
Great work.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, it's very, very straightforward, and it was easy to review yesterday. I loved all the information to help set me up to review it. That made it a breeze. So yeah, good job. All right. So we have our second pair. Y'all ready to present?
Do you want me to just present? I can show the GitHub issue and yeah.
Yeah.
Also, you're on mute.
Yeah, so this ended up being a bit more complicated than it seemed, since you're kind of sorting 3 ways. So we're going to sort by our proposed purchase frequency that's captured by the buttons when we add items, like soon, not soon, pretty soon. I always get the words mixed up. But so we ended up finding out how to use something similar that Lodash does, using group by and doing it in vanilla JavaScript, which honestly, Nabil was certainly really well versed in explaining how it works, but I'm still sometimes wrap my head around it because it's returning, it's doing so many functionalities that it was just kind of a little bit wild toward the end and getting deep in the weeds. But yeah, we get to group by purchase frequency and then run a sort functionality on that kind of grouped list. Then it gets to sort by whether the days are equal or the number of estimated days are equal. It'll return the list alphabetically. Otherwise, it will just return in order by the next estimated purchase days. Then adding on top of that, the screen reader tools, which send us down kind of an awesome rabbit hole to learn about ARIA attributes and how to make different accessibility tests and how to use them, which were surprisingly a lot of screen readers and accessibility tools seem to be deprecated, but there are a few that are still running. So we use Chromevox, which when you get to that point in the demo, you'll understand why sometimes that can be frustrating as well.
I want to know how everyone else does it because I was freaking out and my wife was saying that thing has got to go because it was reading everything and I was like, yeah.
But yeah, so I kind of wrote a longer intro to the PR, but the basic gist of it is sorting these lists, which for some reason seemed to be so much harder. My own thing with working with functional components is figuring out how to pass props properly. So something that I'm learning and working on as well. I guess I should read the accepted criteria too. So the items in the list are shown visually grouped in the following order: soon, kind of soon, not soon, and inactive. Within each grouping, items should be sorted by the estimated number of days until the next purchase. Items with the same number of estimated days until the next purchase should be sorted alphabetically. And the items in a different state should be visually distinct. And that distinction should be able to be read by a screen reader.
Oh my God, are you able to drag those items from the acceptance criteria around? Oh my God, mind blown. Okay.
And then, yeah, and I guess I could pass that to Nabil to do the demo part.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things that work. It's kind of hard to even describe or show. I kind of just want to, I might actually just come here and show you the different parts of it. So one of the things that we have to do, if you look at the acceptance criteria, it says, we have to group, we have to be able to group them. So within each grouping, items should be sorted by estimated number of days until next purchase. So we need to, the first thing we need to be able to do is identify these groups. And then the next thing is they have, what is it? Items with the same number of estimated days until next purchase should be sorted alphabetically. So we need a way to like find the group, and then within that group, we're gonna sort it alphabetically. And then there's a separate component of this, which is like, how do we visually identify these states? So you have the grouping, estimated number of days, and being able to identify these like and then the alphabetical sort. So the first thing is just creating this function of group by. So that basically what it does is, if you're familiar with the vanilla JavaScript for arrays, you can use this thing called reduce. And so what that's going to do is it's going to iterate over your list, and then it's going to basically return one value. And so that one value in this case is going to be an empty object. And the way that we kind of reduce all of these items as we cycle through is we check for one value, which is, in our case, the purchase frequency. So we're going through all the list here. We're grabbing the purchase frequency, the value from it. We're saying, hey, does that exist within the object as a key? And it's like, no. Okay, then let's make that the key. And we're going to give the item with that key, or with that purchase frequency, as an item with as part of an array for that property. I didn't say that very well. All it is basically there's an object for each purchase frequency. It's going to use that as the key, and then it's going to progressively make a list from an array, and just keep every time. It's like, if that purchase frequency exists, let's throw that in that group. And so what you walk away with is this object with purchase frequency date, like purchase frequency values, and then these lists associated with each one of those. So that was our first challenge, was to just group them by that. And then we do an individual sort within it. So what that ends up, the end result of it ends up looking like this. So there's nothing more to show than this, but what I do want to do is come over here and just kind of show you how you can go through and kind of check it. So we know that there's this item called cucumber. I've run that filter thing that Stacie mentioned that makes it so much easier to see the documents, because I'm ordering it by the item name. So now I can easily come over to cucumber. We would expect purchase frequency to be 30, great. If we go to bean, we should also see that the purchase frequency should be 30, which is great. There's another condition on here, and we know that they're ordered alphabetically. So B comes before C, so they're ordered alphabetically. So we know that there's like this grouping. Ice cream is probably with a different purchase frequency. So cool, that's 20. We're starting to show like a different grouping here. The next thing is we have to be able, basically the coloring that we have is associated with like when is the next time we're going to be purchasing it, I believe. And so the ones that are green are like, these are coming up really, really soon. The ones that are red, it's like not too soon at all. So ice cream is like a month away. This is not a realistic list. Beans, bread, those are like over 7 days away. The thing that was a little strange from this, the categorization. So one thing that's lost here is on the related issue. If you come here, you can see that there's actually some criteria around inactive. And so there's two things, and it said only one purchase in the database, or purchase is really out of date. And so a lot of these items on here, and it's not, yeah, it's either of those things, which feel very radically different. So if there's only one purchase in the database, it means that I've only purchased this once. And so it's actually treating those two things, like one that I've purchased only once as like super far away. And then it's giving the same treatment as one that's like, it's basically inactive. So we have two things that are going to be styled the same, which is kind of grayed out, but I feel like they're pretty radically different. So one, if it was and, it would make a lot more sense, where it was like there was only one purchase and it was really out of date. Then it really makes sense to be inactive. But the fact that it only says only one purchase in the database, or the purchase is really out of date, that feels a little confusing to me. But So I do want to just show what happens if I was to maybe lower the purchase frequency from this to like 10. So right now we are, sorry, your faces are in front of everything. So for ice cream, I'm upping it. I want it to be like every 10 days instead of 20 days. You should see a change on the other side. So it's gone to inactive, which I believe, I forget all the logic on here, but it's working. That's that's what it is. And the fact that I think it's grouped differently. So that's why we showed the difference in place. And now it's being, I bet you it's because it's the next purchase date is double I'm not sure. I should have looked up this exact example before using it. I just wanted to show that it is conditional styling on here. Okay, so the next one I'm gonna show is I'm only gonna install this to use it because I'm hoping you can.
Spoken feedback is right.
Can you hear it? Great.
Oh, wow.
So.
List with 11 items, filter list, edit text.
Okay, here's the next, but this is the one. So when you go to an item, it's actually gonna tell you if it should be purchased soon or not, and it'll say it in the beginning. And then the other one is if it's inactive, it's just going to tell you that it's inactive, and it's not going to say purchase something. So those are actually conditional, logical things that we had to do for the accessibility requirement. Okay. Okay, never mind.
Purchase soon, checkbox not checked list item.
Okay.
Purchase soon, checkbox not checked list item. List with 11 items. Purchase soon super strong coffee list item. Wow. Purchase soon cereal list item.
And now
inactive tomato list item. Purchase kind of soon bread list item.
Anyways, that was it. That ended up being pretty hard, but it's kind of fun. And I have to say that the accessibility part I thought was just this easy thing that we would be able to throw on a little tag here or there. And it's actually more complex, which is great because there's a lot of thought that's gone into it, and it's standardized in ways that you can really be an advocate and an ally in ways that are meaningful and make tons of people's lives easier. And it's an area that warrants further study and not just casual perusal when you're trying to get something sent off.
This is amazing. Nabil, I would fully encourage you to take everything you just said and do another video demo of it and put it on your portfolio or on your LinkedIn or whatever.
Sure.
This is a super valuable skill to demonstrate when you're getting a job as a developer. So I love it. Great work.
That was great. Sure.
How do people actually have that part of it? Because that one is meant, it totally makes sense. That is meant for someone a non-sighted user who is going to be tabbing through everything. And it's not meant to be enabled, disabled in an easy way without hotkeys. I'm just wondering if there's someone who's going to be actively, basically a screen reader for a sighted user or a sighted developer who's trying to toggle on and off the thing. Or does everyone just use Chromebox?
If you're using a Mac, you can use VoiceOver, which is the default thing for Mac.
Great.
And it works great, and it works best with Safari as far as I know. I have used it in Chrome and it works perfectly, but I don't know the difference between Safari and Chrome in terms of VoiceOver, but yeah, that's what you can use out of the box.
Awesome.
Back when I worked for Disney, we got hit with an accessibility lawsuit, and the lawsuit, the site wasn't accessible, so we had special deals on there that unsighted people couldn't access, right? So we had to add accessibility to the site after the fact, which is very difficult. And the legal definition of we fulfilled our end of the bargain was done through JAWS. So you can type in screen reader JAWS in Google, and they use that to evaluate the accessibility of our app.
And I saw that that's going to be definitely more required because there's a lawsuit with Domino's.
Yeah,
that,
that's a big one.
Yeah.
So like I know like universities and public facing government sites need to be accessible, but I'm pretty sure that they're not because of the amount of work that we did just to get that. Like I've dealt with other people that you're nowhere close to this.
For profit maximizing companies, it's a really good way to like be like, hey, we got to do this, otherwise you're going to get a lawsuit. So let's make it a priority in the company.
Basically.
Yeah, and it's good that y'all. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Devon.
Oh no. Go ahead. Yes.
I was gonna say it's good that you're learning this and understanding how important it is, because a lot of companies and the people who make decisions for those companies don't understand one, how much work it takes, and two, understand the severe cost involved if you get hit with a lawsuit. It's like hundreds of thousands times more expensive to handle it through like a legal battle than just to make your site accessible from the start. So it's good to advocate for that. And you can speak to like time and money aspects of it, which business folks will understand a lot better, you know.
I love it. Really great work this week, team, and fantastic demos. I love how like clear they are and how detailed they are. Like, I feel like I know what's happening now. Thank you for filling me in. I've missed you.
Welcome back.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so with that, we have 2 more things to do. We're going to do retros, and we're going to do our breakout rooms and see what issues we're going to be tackling. So let's jump into retro in 30 minutes. Let's do retros real fast. Do we think that we can get like post no more than 3 things in each category, and we'll like fly through them, like focus on the really important stuff? Good. We're going to go fast. Okay, the link is in Slack. Everybody have it?
I did.
I'm going to give us 7 minutes from right now to start, and we'll come back and we'll go over them, okay? So 12, 30, 8, ready, set, go. 2 minutes. If you're done, you can post 10. All right. 38 it is. Okay, I'm gonna screen share. Share. And we'll start in appreciations. Everyone ready?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay, Nabil, you're up.
This is just like a brain dump of all the cool things that I think about Megan. Just like a great partner overall, from like coding to hunting down solutions, being flexible and making like asynchronous like progress on the thing. It just made it, I think that we were able to accomplish double from the previous week, and made it so we could close out both of those issues at the same time. Michael, also, your feedback has been simultaneously incredibly helpful and utterly haunting. All this week, I was just like, Michael said it. Just like, but it's like one of those painful lessons where I was like, okay, I need to separate tasks. I shouldn't be refactoring and solving for the issue at the same time. And I thought about that the entire week as I was trying to fix the mess that was created from last week over.
I appreciate you receiving that feedback well. For me, it's almost like a personality trait that I try to do too much in one PR, and so it's going to be a constant struggle for the rest of my life. I have a feeling, but yeah.
I love it. Life lessons with Michael. Thanks, Nabil. Megan.
I just wanted to thank Devon for working with me when I was definitely having kind of like a rough week that week, and
yeah, it was a lot.
Things were very tense, and so it was also frustrating. You know, you're trying to solve these problems in the midst of like all of this stuff. So thank you for your patience and work.
You're welcome.
Thoroughness, and I love Nabil's like dedicated to solving the task. We were on, I don't know how long it was yesterday, like a couple hours trying to get some of this stuff to work. And it can be so frustrating, but it's like the just keeping on. And whenever you explain stuff so well that I'm just like, oh yeah, I totally know how to do this, until I try to do it myself blindly. But yeah, it's super awesome. Got debugger to work. That's been like an amazing godsend to do this work. So thanks.
So good. Tansy.
Yeah, so mine's like general, but it means like a lot, I guess, in the terms of like I appreciate all of you and how like every week is just getting better in terms of understanding what we're doing and just like loving the understanding between the pairs and being able to learn something new.
For sure. That's really good.
So good. I love seeing this team grow like that. Ale.
Right, I have 3 things. So Michael, thanks for helping with all the code reviews. Yeah, thank you very much. Also, Stacie, thank you for your super good energy all the time. I have said this like for months now, but I don't know how you do it. this is still a mystery to me. Yeah. And last but not least, thank you all for being transparent about how you feel. Like, it is really important to say, like, I'm frustrated because of this. I had issues with that, or like I really enjoyed working like this ticket or something. Like, all that is really valuable feedback for us for the Collab Lab. So thank you.
So good. Hard agree with that one. Devon.
Yeah, so I think everything's been pretty, I don't know, I kind of ran out of like, appreciations. Like I think it's just been consistent, and I just am thankful for everybody actually. But I wanted to say that I think that Megan and Nabil, I'll be honest, I did not tune into that task at all. And just seeing the presentation, you guys had a really difficult task, and it was a great presentation. And I mean, to do all of that in 1 week, it is quite a lot. So yeah, and also we're here, so you can definitely, but yeah, if I had kind of tuned in, I definitely would have been like, I'm here to help, because yeah, that is a lot, but it was amazing. It's well done. So.
For sure, they crushed it. Michael.
Yeah, I just wanted to, we've already talked about this a couple times with some of these other notes, but just mention how much appreciation I have for all the effort that you put into your presentations at the end of the week. I think that even if the task is something small, like, one group experienced this week, the presentation, putting focus and effort into that helps really make it still feel like it's a really big and important feature. And yeah, all of you are just getting better and better at that. And so I just wanted to highlight that. I appreciate it. And I think it's, yeah, awesome.
And real quick, I just wanted to say that I actually had a real deal presentation. I had an interview on this past Wednesday, and I don't know, they're a startup, and it didn't, they were like, oh, let's have a chat. But because I knew someone else I know, actually Stacie knows her, Nikima, she interviewed for it, and she told me, she was like, oh, they're gonna ask for you to present a project, which they didn't say. They were just like, oh, we're going to talk or whatever. And so I presented the Collab Lab project, what we have so far. And they were like, I don't know, it was very boot camp level. I mean, it was not, I think it was good, but it also showed me gaps. But, it was very much so having the experience here. But yeah, they were really like, it was a lot. But having the experience here definitely was great preparation. So I wasn't nervous. It was just that they were kind of like, yeah, what's that? Like, so. But they were nice about it. But it was very like, they wanted to know everything. So, but yeah.
Oh my gosh, that melts my heart to hear. That makes me so freaking happy to hear that you felt at least a little more prepared for something like that because of this.
Yeah, just a bit more. But there's ways to go. We'll see how it goes. But yeah.
That's amazing. So good. Okay. You are all totally amazing, and I love you all. And I'm like so impressed how you've grown, like how I can watch these demos now, and it feels like watching some kind of tutorial on YouTube about like how to build a thing. And it's like, I know so much and can feel so much more in tune just after meeting with you on these demos. A kid came back. Anyway, also wildly appreciate Ale and Michael for like being incredible mentors and being here to like hold down the fort and keep things moving while I kind of deal with there's all the kids now, another cohort. So thank you all. You're all so amazing. Thank you for being dedicated, each and every one of you. So with that, let's move on to what went well. Nabil, you're up.
Yeah, it was just asynchronous like progress was like really helpful. Just it allowed us to be a little bit more flexible and adaptive to circumstances, and moving forward at all odds. So not feeling like super disheartened and being able to just like move, just move forward.
So good. So proud of you all. Tansy.
I also think that the level of demos is just so good to watch. It is a tutorial, like you were saying, Stacie. Like it's just like it puts everything in terms of the code into perspective and how like other teams are thinking. And I think also getting to know each other in terms of like how each one of us has a working style. I think that has also been going well. So yeah, that's it.
All right, Ale.
Okay, I think it was Megan. But okay, I think
Sorry, very distracted. How about Megan? We'll pop back up to Megan.
Communication with teammates has been going super well. Thank you, mentors, for checking in, because sometimes you get in the weeds, and to see a message when you're like, how's it going? You're like, oh yeah, there's like other people that if I get stuck, I could go talk to.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
All right.
Now, I'll
All right. So yeah, all demos, as you all have said, have been great. So you're doing great. Like I can see the progress, like from, I don't know, like 6 weeks from since we started. So yeah, great work. Very well prepared. I'm proud of you.
seriously, so much growth. I love it. Devon.
Oh yes, sorry. I was actually responding to a text. My bad. My bad. Yeah, I don't. Let's see. Yeah, the same. I think that's what. Yeah, it's been pretty consistent. I think there's always. I don't think anything major has like really gone wrong. I think everything has been continuously progressive. So yeah, I don't really have anything like major to add. I think it's been kind of good. Yeah, just one step up.
Good, excellent. Okay, well, let's move on to what stopped us from making progress or what could be improved, starting with Tansy.
So yeah, I thought like maybe taking into account like emotional, mental health of oneself and like your like pair partner and the environment is helpful before starting to code. And I think last week, like there was also so much happening in the world within oneself. And I also want to publicly apologize to Nabil for not being the partner that I should have been, because I have a lot of guilt with that too. So I think that's like a thing to kind of understanding, like, it's like sometimes it's hard to admit to yourself, like, I'm vulnerable, because you really want to help the other person too. Like you feel like, how strong do I need to be for the other person? So yeah, so that's basically it. It was a me thing.
You're doing amazing, and you're incredible, and you're a great contributor to this team, Tansy. We love you. But solid reflecting as always. Megan, you're up.
I guess I think Nabil and I talked about this before, and I know Devon's mentioned it, but kind of like having clear goals of the app and what it does so that we can kind of better plan. Sometimes we do things and issues that don't quite make sense until later. And if we knew that was kind of coming up, we would maybe have done that in a different way.
Oh, you're on mute. Oh man,
You're on mute.
Yeah, somebody texted. Yeah.
What is happening here? It's like being wonky. Do you think it would be helpful, like around the kickoff call, to like go through each of the issues so that we can kind of like see how it'll all come together? Oh shoot! Can nobody hear me?
No, we can hear.
Yeah. It was just. It seems like Zoom. Yeah.
Like laggy.
Okay. Well, with that, let's just move on to Nabil.
Okay. I'm actually going to tag one more thing, just because Megan brought it up. But yeah, just I think like on the React site, it talks about how to like break down a program or like an app that you're going to be coding, and part of that, it says like you're supposed to just take the UI that's given and break it down into components, and then like I think that step may have been like missing in general to have that super high level. But yeah, that was the one thing that I've noticed has been just like not having a high level view has been difficult. And then for me, just seeing how, and I was just like thinking about this in the workplace or anything, how there's those domino effects of falling behind. So falling behind from last week meant there was like a late push. Like I think I like pushed the revised, like finished issue from last week, I think on Wednesday this week. And then even just merging that in, it was just like, it was such a headache. And let's see what stopped us from making progress. Yeah. So, I mean, it was that. It was, I think like not reaching out sooner and then pushing out the, that push, the initial push so far out that I actually think it impacted our team because we were relying on it. I was happy that it was like, I was on the team that it was impacting, but yeah. that was it.
That happens, and I think you handled it like a champ. So good job for what it's worth. But again, appreciate the feedback on this column.
Thank you.
Ale.
Right. So I think that in our side, Collab Lab side, we can improve the description of some tasks sometimes. Specifically speaking about this estimates task. I think it's like, yeah, if we have done a better job there, you wouldn't have so many problems. So yeah, we need to work on it and improve it. But yeah, that's what I have.
Yes, I feel a co-working session coming up. Okay. Devon.
Yeah, so I think the one thing that could have improved is when we talked about that meeting that we were gonna have, and I think everybody is just, we're busy and it just happens. I mean, if this was a real job, that would definitely probably happen. I mean, if Collab Lab was a company and we were all employees like that might happen. So yeah, I just think it would have helped, because I think going back again to Megan and Abil, like if they, I think, you just start tackling problems. And I think me and Tansy were kind of in the both, and it's just like, okay, our task, we're working on our task and they're working on their task. And yeah, we kind of forgot about that, but we all probably could have connected and it would have probably been a bit easier. So yeah, just something that I think, could be, improved. But yeah, that's just me, what I think.
No, I think that's everybody. I love that kind of stuff. And I think you can move forward so much harder and faster and more collaboratively as a team when you do get on those syncs together and just talk through things. So
yeah.
Agree with that. Okay, excellent retro. Are there some certain things, I know for sure I'm pulling this one over for my own work. Are there any other things that you think like you definitely want to focus on next week?
What is next week looking like? I haven't even looked at the task.
Well, let's do that. What we'll do is we'll go and do like our breakout rooms and stuff, and we can regroup in Slack async and talk about like if there's a thing or two.
Okay.
Am I really choppy?
Is there, a little choppy, but is there any chance we could like just do it all together as a group, review the issues all together as a group? I feel like even having
Yeah, let's be the change we want to see.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, let's totally do that. I'm going to let Michael or Alejandro run through them because I feel like my internet's so choppy that I'm going to do a terrible job doing it. Let me stop my screen share.
Oh.
Thanks.
I think if you just turn your video off, it'll help you a lot.
Yeah, but.
All right. Somebody else is up.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll go through one, and then Alejandro, you can go through the other.
Yeah, sure.
Wait a minute, you guys disappeared.
Cool. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
I can't. Yeah, I can hear, but I don't know. Like the video disappeared from me.
Oh.
Like the shared screen, or like
yeah. Like I can't see.
She closed it.
Oh, okay. So we can just hear each other, cause yeah.
I think Michael's gonna pull up the issue right now.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
I'm trying to. Oh, I keep clicking on the card, thinking it's gonna do something. All right, I'm gonna share my browser here.
Yeah. Okay.
And so we have two issues here. We have the 13 and 14. So I'm gonna read through the acceptance criteria of this one. So we, all of you have been in a breakout room with me afterwards. I usually like to just read the card together and then talk about how we want to solve it. So we'll do that with this one. As a user, I want to view details of my purchases to better understand my purchase patterns. So from the shopping list, the user can tap to navigate to a detailed view of the item. So this seems like almost like a profile page, just giving me some more information about the purchase. Detailed view includes the name, last purchase date, estimated number of days until next purchase, and number of times the item has been purchased. When in the item details view, a back arrow should appear in the header that takes the user back to the list view. So does anyone want to give like a rough take on like what the user experience will be like for this one? don't want to influence the design on this one because I think it's UI heavy. This one is up for interpretation. But anyone have any ideas or suggestions? I guess we haven't even split people up, right? Usually, Stacie, you put 2 people on each one. I'm trying to like. It's hard to be like Stacie here. I'm failing.
You mean like assigning the task?
A what?
Like
I
assigning the
put in
task?
Slack who the
Assignment.
pairs are gonna be.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
what
no,
if
it's
we-
me and it's.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me? Probably not.
Yeah.
Okay. The pairs this week are in Slack, but my internet's
Bill
been
and
so
Devon.
slow that it won't open.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
check Slack.
All right. So which one is taking dibs first? Nabil and Devon, or Megan and Tansy?
Could we do this just a little bit differently? Like let's just ask questions as a group if we have any, and then like see the next one and ask questions.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I mean, at
Okay.
least we see the next one and then
That's
we can
good. That's a good point.
make
Yeah.
a decision.
Okay.
I
So
don't have any questions
yeah,
for-
does anyone have any questions about like this one or ideas?
No, I think I get it right now. I mean, maybe I don't know if someone else wants to chime in to see their kind of thought process of it. Because first, it's trying to think of it in your head. So it's like this is definitely a visual thing. So you're like, all right, off the top of my head, like let me see how this could possibly look.
One question I have is how do you think that this page will query for the items separately? Because right now we just get the whole list whenever you go to it. Would this one query for the individual item or like pull from that list?
I feel
It would. Oh, that's a good question.
I feel like you can continue the props down, right? Like you can,
So if it's a separate page,
page.
there may not be the query from the other page present, the Firebase collection. So that's just what I was thinking. And we don't have to solve it here, but it's something to think about, I think, to get started with. All right, we can go over the second one here. Alejandro, do you want to walk through the second one?
Sure. Can you share your? Yeah, thank you very much. All right, so this one is more like we don't have any logic here. It's just CSS. So the welcome screen now, it's not that pretty. So you have to make it pretty, and you can go crazy here. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's like it's really straightforward.
I don't know. I already know which one I want to do. If that's
You
okay,
can keep
Nabil.
in mind with this design one that you don't have to stick to this like wireframe here. You can make it look however you want. You should agree like as a group on what color schemes and what styles you want to use, or if there's a library that you want to implement or something. So it's totally up to you.
I would say, in fact, you should do something unique, because if you're going to present this to somebody after our cohort is over, I want you to be able to say, like, that was my idea. This is something I did on my own. I didn't like copy from someone else's thing. So I think it would be important for you to just do at least one part of the design unique and make it your own. I think that's important.
One thing to think about that after this week, the next tasks will be about the styling as well. So yeah, just in case you want to think about the future, just in case. So if the changes that you're going to make here probably will affect how all the other pages will look like. So
gotcha.
Think about that. That's yep.
And Nabil, you agree on the previous one? You down for more logic, or you want to take a break?
No, I'm down to do the logic stuff. I think that's like fun.
Okay. Since we're all going to be doing styling next week, correct? Or something around
Are there any parts that are going to be like dependent on each other? I'm seeing like a header up here, like a little nav bar top part, and then from the item view, I'm just like I'm guessing that there will be like also a top navigation. I'm just trying to call out anything that might be interdependent. Like if
You're talking about like something shared across the different pages, like a universal header or universal nav. I think if you want to have a universal nav, then yeah, it would probably be consistent across the whole thing. But as far as technical concerns, I don't think you're gonna run into conflicts there, because you could write the universal nav higher up in the component hierarchy, so you're not in the weeds of like the logic writing your header. It'll be like more in like the top level app component.
Okay, cool.
And then also like like I said before, it's like up to you. If you don't think it's appropriate to put a header, then you don't have to. It does kind of give the page a little more presence. So
cool. Megan, you were about to say something? I think I cut you off.
I was just saying that like there might be something that that we'd want to agree on as a team, possibly, of like what kind of, if you wanted to use like material design, or if it was like, I'm not a big fan of orange, so I wouldn't put it in a lot, but maybe some others are. I don't know.
So this seems like we'll maybe a team meeting, because we have to. 'Cause we've gotten to that point.
sometimes when it comes to designs, it's hard to speak to them without anything concrete in front of you, without something tangible.
Sure.
So I find that the design focused discussions are best when you have something in front of you. Like, so whichever team takes this ticket can take a stab at it, and maybe in the middle of the week follow up and say, hey, this is what we have. What do y'all think? The color scheme good, the font good, things like that. People generally have a better way of providing feedback for things that already like are started.
Cool. Devon, you can.
What?
No, like whichever issue you want. I'm good with pick one if you want.
Yeah, I was gonna do. I thought that sounded more. I mean, pretty interesting to me. So I just wanted to try to take a jump at that one. So what is that issue? What, 14?
All right.
You want to take on the design one?
No.
Oh no. Wait a minute. Go ahead, no, Bill. Sorry.
No, yeah, it's just they're numbered funny.
Yeah, right. That's what I was like. That's what I was kind of looking. I was like, issue. Yeah. Is it this one? Yeah. This one. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Go back.
The welcome screen, right?
Yes.
All right.
No. Sorry. Yeah. oh, everybody, stop. Yeah.
The one that has no screen, no image on it. The issue.
Yeah.
With
the purchase. The basically
item.
it's a filter feature, I'm assuming. Yeah.
Yes, this one.
Oh.
You did the same thing as I did.
No, stop. It's not letting me.
That's it. You can't undo it.
It's all yours. All right, cool.
There you go. Megan and Tansier. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think definitely there will probably be there will definitely be some crossover, because it seems like we'll have to get on the same page as far as design. So next week we're not just like, I think we can all figure it out. Like, do you want like Laker colors, or do you want like brown and green, orange? So it's
I like Laker colors.
I like
probably win the championship this year. So
oh boy, maybe however that looks. And
we're gonna do the Raptors dinosaur scheme, right? With like
red and black.
The Barney look.
Oh.
Hey, the
Old
pinstripes.
school.
Yeah, old school. Yeah, so that's funny. Everybody chimed in on the basketball. Yay.
I wasn't usually a fan, but
in a few weeks there'll be basketball, and I can get my mind off of everything with something. mindless
Yeah,
like that.
I think most of us, yeah. Even if they're playing in empty arenas, but you know, it doesn't matter. I think people are like, we don't care. We don't care.
I just want to see LeBron dunk. That's all. Just dunk.
I wasn't really following, but now that I live in Portland, you know, I have to be a Blazers fan. And
yeah, they're big in Portland.
mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Awesome. Wow.
All right, so are
Thanks,
we?
everyone.
Y'all have any other questions about these?
No.
Tansy, where you? Tansy's kind of quiet.
No, her internet's
Having internet problems.
Oh, she said okay. So her and Stacie, what? Okay. Okay. I'm good for now.
Yeah, she said
All right.
issues.
Yeah, internet issues.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
everyone.
Well,
I gotta
I
go.
hope all of you have a good week.
Yeah, thank you. You too. All right.
Bye.
Hey,
Yeah.
bye.
Get you in Slack.